Well, this week we've been sharing tips to jumpstart your job search. And tonight, career coach has his own business, Peter C. Diamond, here with 5 key elements to help you land your next job. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
I love your first tip. It'll make people remember this,
right.
The elevator speech, which means when you're alone in an elevator, practice what you would say. Explain.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, you need to be clear and be very concise about your career ambitions. So what I recommend is you answer 2 questions. What do I want to do? And how can it benefit a company? That will give you a great launching pad for someone to say, oh, that's really interesting. Tell me more.
Right.
And then you can get into more details about your background. But if you can answer those 2 questions in 30 to 60 seconds, I think you're golden.
And when you say elevator speech, practice it in front of somebody you know and trust, or the mirror, or an elevator.
Or both.
Yeah.
Or both. And there's always times when you're out there looking for a job to be able to practice that. So I tell people practice it often.
Resume. Use active language and quantify your accomplishments. I like the active language. Explain that.
Yeah.
Make it seem like you're doing stuff.
Of course. And I think a lot of people tend to downplay their accomplishments. So you want to be able to say things that you led, right? Things that you initiated, things that you spearheaded. Right. Bring all that type of language forward. It makes your resume feel much more dynamic and that you've really achieved some really great accomplishments in your career.
Which leads us to number 3, which is networking. Get comfortable talking about your capabilities, because it is hard to talk about yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, I did this, I did that. Oh, it feels like you're boasting and bragging. Well, when you're in the job search, you have to tell them what you've done.
Yeah, you have to be your own best advocate. So get out there, reconnect with old colleagues, reconnect with clients, friends, and that's a great time to practice your elevator speech. Don't be shy. Now is not the time to be shy.
And I heard you say the other day, do not forget things like LinkedIn or what are those?
Or Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, both. Any type of social media as a way to let people know what your career ambitions are.
Interviewing process. Dress better than is required for position or company. Always speak positive and smile generously.
Absolutely, right?
Sounds like TV anchor school.
A little bit. I think people, when you're in an interview, people want to hire people who are positive, who are excited about opportunities, excited about the future. Right. And you can smile, it helps also create ease, because it's tough for the interviewer as well.
And when you say dress better than is required, in other words, let's say you go to a tech company and it looks like it's casual Friday all the time.
Right.
Don't dress that way.
Correct. So
dress like you.
Dress a little bit more. I mean, you can't go wrong with a suit, but also if you just wear nice pants, a shirt, and a sweater and a tie is great.
Patience. That's your final tip. Process that does take time. Set goals. Keep track of your accomplishments in order to see progress. That's really hard.
Very hard.
When you're desperate.
Very hard. But what I will say is, while for the candidate, it's the most important thing in their life.
Right.
For a company, you're one of many things that they're dealing with. So you need to really be patient. Don't get discouraged, and stay positive.
You know, if you had a tip, let's say I go to an interview or somebody calls me and says, please send your resume. How soon should you follow up? I mean, do you wait a week? Do you wait a few days? Do you wait 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Or is there no rule of thumb?
There's no rule of thumb. But you know, if you send a resume in, or if you interviewed, a week is not that much time. So at least let a week go by. If you haven't heard anything from them, and then you can come back and say, follow back up. Right. So I think you have to figure it out a little bit. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to be overly persistent to the point of annoyance.
Very good. Peter C. Diamond, who is a career coach, has his own business for doing so. You can find him somewhere online, I'm sure. You got a website?
I do. PeterCDiamond.com.
Excellent.
Great.
Figured that was it. Appreciate that. Micah.
Well, Apple has changed shipping